It's definitely the first time at an Arctic Circle gathering that we have the three premiers from the northern parts of Canada speaking in this way. I don't know if it has ever happened before in any other international gathering. But if I may say so, I think this trio of Canadian premiers could be a formidable voice on the global stage. And we have already in the Arctic Circle invited the Governor General to come to the Assembly in October. And I think your speeches here today should definitely be an encouragement for Canada to turn up in that way. So let me put the first question, and then the floor is open to you. Can we expect to see the three of you continue to sing politically at the various conference concerts that we will hold in the coming years? Or is this just a one-off kind of cooperation? Yes.
Oh, I hope so. I absolutely hope so. You know, for the vast geographical area that we all represent and the roughly 120,000 people that we represent, we are so much stronger when we can communicate together. And so the northern premiers, we have a forum. We coordinate on where we can agree. There's not a lot of places we can disagree. We have different geography, but we have very similar issues and problems. And this has boded very well for all three of us as we take our message to Western Premiers Conferences, to the Council of the Federation, to the First Minister's meetings with the Prime Minister. We have a lot of strength in making sure that the three of us are in sync. I hold my hands up to both of these leaders. We all come from different backgrounds, but we do have a common message, and it's worked so far. So why stop here?
Okay, if the other two agree to this, I think we will leave it at that. Yeah, okay. Let me also add, I think it would be very good for Canada, very good for Canada. And I say this as somebody who's worked with your country for a long time. Because quite frankly, Ottawa is quite often occupied by other things. And therefore, the Canadian Arctic voice is not present. And if the three of you then take on that role increasingly, I think it would serve Canada actually very well. Okay, so looking at this collection of bright minds, I want to have some questions. Yes. Introduce yourself. No.
Mr. President, dear Prime Premiers, thank you very much for your introductions. My name is Tero Vauraste, coming from the Finnish satellite company ISI, Woodrow Wilson Center Global Fellow and emissary with the Arctic Circle. In 2015 and 2017, we had the Finnish icebreakers transiting the Northwest Passage. So could you elaborate and explore your thoughts on the international transits on the Northwest Passage, especially as the use of the Northern Sea Route is evidently becoming much less possible because of what's been happening. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much for that very good, important question. I think we all, in the last few years, the world's really paid attention to the North. And I think the Northwest Passage obviously is something that's very crucial, not only to Canadians, but to Inuit. I was very fortunate to have created a conservation area specifically to the Northwest Passage called Tadlogotupimanga. And that has been a vision of Inuit for 60 years. And the importance of that area could be seen very differently from the different lenses that you see right across. And to Inuit, Tadlogotupimanga is a lifeline. It provides food to the communities that are surrounding it. It provides who we are as peoples, and as such, has been the vision of Inuit to protect that particular area of this world from the Inuit lens. As we progress and as we've seen the significant attention of what's happening in Ukraine, it's really put another spotlight in terms of where Canada stands, and I think it has echoed really what we've been saying with the Northern Premiers, that it's really about the people, and it's investments of the people that make Canada an Arctic nation. And with the Northwest Passage, there's no different there in terms of investments, whether it's the deep sea ports, or it's investments into small craft harbors, or it's creating employment opportunities that are within these communities. So with that, the Northwest Passage does play a very crucial role in terms of lens of Nunavut. That is really signifies that global perspective as well.
You want to add something?
Yeah, I would just add that, you know, we had this conversation earlier today with yourself, Chairman, about you know, the $1 trillion worth of potential economic development through with Northwest Passages being opened up. It's our job as Northern leaders to convince anybody who wants to invest in the North that a child's education in my most northern community of Old Crow is as important as the bottom line to a stakeholder or a shareholder for a company, because the education, the health care of our citizens, no decision about us without us. You want to make sure that we have the most sophisticated governments and governance in these northern areas. And so through that education system, through equal access to health care, that's as important as the bottom line for any stakeholder, for any corporation that's going to be working in the North. As I've witnessed in Yukon, the more sophisticated our self-governing First Nations are, the better it is for our economy and our environment.
Okay, so anybody else? Well, since the clock is running, if you are not taking it up, yeah, sure, yeah.
Jessica Shadian, President and CEO of Arctic 360. I really appreciated the three of yours presentations, and we heard a lot about the challenges, a lot of it related to infrastructure. Maybe can any of you or all of you point, let's say in 15, 20 years, in your most ideal situation, what is your vision, your real big vision for the North in terms of its relationship and importance for Canada, but also Canada's North in general at the global level?
I think.
That's okay, keep on.
On?
Yep.
Okay. I think each of us might have different visions and similar visions. My vision is for our youth. We have a commitment. I have a grandchild, and my commitment is to make sure that the world is inhabitable and they have the opportunities that we take for granted. And my vision for the North is to make sure that our youth in the North have the same opportunities as those in the South. It's often easy for people in the South to say, Northerners, you have it lucky, you know, you don't have the crime. Well, do have crime. You don't have the incidences that we have in the South. You're very fortunate. But our children are watching the same TV as the children in the South. They want the same things. They want the technology. They want the access. They want the mobility rights. And they have a right. It's not a wish. So I don't want any more than people in the South have. All I want is the same basic rights, the same opportunities, the same services that people take for granted in the South and that we only wish for. So if I have a vision, it's for equality of people, because reconciliation for Indigenous people is more than just words. It's about action. It's to make sure that Indigenous people and Northern people have the opportunities to be able to prosper. So that would be my vision.
Well, thank you very much indeed. I think since our time is out, that is a fitting final statement. But thank all of you for, first of all, coming, and secondly, sharing your thoughts with us and your challenges and your platforms. And let me invite you to continue this performance, if I may call it that, by the new premier trio from Canada at the Assembly in October as we go forward. So thank you again, and we will now turn to Asia. One of the most interesting changes with respect to the Arctic is the recent and growing interest from Asian countries in the Arctic. So the next on the stage will be the representatives of Japan and Singapore, followed by a Q&A session. But thank you very much, David. Thank you.